Hello and welcome back to Power Play Productions' final round coverage of the Scottish Open. You've joined us from the front nine at the beautiful Bluebell Woods.
Welcome back to East Lothian Disc Golf Coast, Dunbar, Scotland. We are in the beautiful Bluebell Woods, playing on this championship course, par 63, over 2,000 meters. Should be a nice day. Let's see what they can do.
Looks like we've jackpotted with the conditions today, Seamus. Final day, the sun is out in Dunbar. Will be interesting to see if hole 7, if the guys can get closer. We didn't see as many birdies there in hole 15. I think there'll be a couple of players hoping to gain some strokes today.
Should be a lot of challenges today. One of them is not going to be the weather.
Rick coming into final day with a one-shot lead over Chris O'Brien, and Chris and Jamie Matthews coming in on 9 under, challenging for hole 1.
Hole 1. 81 meters, 265 feet. You want to throw it down the road. Some gaps on the left-hand side. Basically, you just don't want to get too aggressive. Get too aggressive, you might saw one off and catch an early tree. Then you're scrambling for your par. This should be an easy up and down par. Execute 2 shots, and if you really throw a nice drive, you can pick up the birdie.
Rick making the correction from yesterday. Perfect drive. Pretty good result. It's the way you always want to open final day Sunday. Chris just hitting an early tree. Bit of work from there.
Here's our first look at Jamie throwing his FX2.
Manages to hit a tree, but still on the fairway. Straight forward, up and down.
Jamie's playing with a busted wing. I think it's his left. I'm not sure if it's his left ankle or his right ankle, but he's still wearing an air cast on that. So keep that in mind as he's throwing these drives.
Chrissy somehow making it down towards the basket. Chris just lining up one of the many options from here.
He hit first available, but he still has gaps. Hopefully he can take his medicine here and hit the bogey putt. Take it out on hole 2.
Not the start you want, but hole 1 is a fairly honest hole.
Easy pitch up for Jamie. That's probably not what he was looking for.
Chris cleaning up the par. No dramas.
Jamie putts with a PA3. Nice stable putter. Catches the top of the basket there. He's also getting a bogey.
Rick back to business. Hitting the birdie harmonica.
It's a nice short headwind putt, but when you're laying there in 3, it could be a little nervy.
Not the start you want, but
Never really thought of hole 1 as a separator hole, but here we are.
Chris and Rick have plenty of experience on power play production lead cards, so back to business for those guys.
Hole 2, 400 feet, 122 meters. You got to pierce the gap. You got to get off the tee 50, 60 meters. Use most of this fairway to gain your distance. Once you pierce the gap and you're through the other side, you got a gentle hyzer toward a relatively flat green. Getting a 3 is not impossible. and walking away with a 4 is good. As long as these players don't try to chew off too much off the tee. You get too aggressive off the tee and you pay for it with a 60-meter deflection. Sometimes.
Yeah, we've seen in round 2, an early hit can force you to make a decision to lay up or get aggressive. Rick, get an unfortunate left hit again. Chrissy loves to attack this hole. I think he's disking down with the mid-range. Pretty good result.
I'd take that result. Smart to disc down a little bit. Looks like there's some wind. It could be a crosswind. If there's a crosswind on this hole, the degree of difficulty goes way up because it is such a small gap.
Not too many options in there on the right. You can get lucky if you push through and hit the path. There's a back door line, but looks like we'll have Rick and Chris scrambling.
Hole 2 did play as one of the hardest holes on the championship course this weekend.
Jamie hitting the fairway, not getting it stand up as we would like, but pretty happy with the result.
He's out of the gap. That's probably the nicest drive out of the 4 of them.
Rick's looking high.
Yeah, I think he's looking right side, which is really thin over there.
Gets a pretty good roll. That's sort of where he needs a fairly straightforward up hyzer shot, maybe.
Yeah, he thread the needle there.
Nice and creative from.
I'd like to see him do that twice.
Chris getting flexy.
Chris might be waiting for the woods holes to be over.
Chris had that hyzer line, probably not the hit you like, but maybe he was a bit off left, Seamus.
Yeah, he sawed it off just a little bit, but he still circles edge. Jamie has the nicest look out of everybody.
Straightforward up shot.
Yeah, one skip. Probably wanted to get a little closer than that, but he's got a wide open look. And it's one thing about disc golf, you see these great shots on TV, and you throw great shots, second or third shots when you're out playing with your mates, and then you get to a tournament, and things are just a little bit different. You feel a little bit, it's a little bit tighter, and it's better to be well practiced.
It's also different when you put 3 cameras in your face, leveling up with the Scottish Open. Chrissy finally starting to find a swing with those putts. Getting some under par for the day.
Nice birdie, Chris. Jamie has a 3 opportunity as well here. Let's see if he can convert. A little high, right side, chains out.
Yeah, we're disappointed with that. But the prodigy basket, Seamus, you need to be committed and centre.
Yep.
Rick 100% upside down putts for day 3.
2 for 2. Chris Smith with the only birdie there. Nice shooting, Chris. Hole 3, par 4, 429 feet, playing as the hardest hole on the disc golf course. You need 2 really controlled fairway shots to get anywhere near the pin. This hole is definitely going to separate these guys a little bit. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, we've had mixed results in previous coverage. We've had a couple of bad hits OB, but hopefully in the current conditions these guys can hit the fairway and get this to stand up.
The third round of the tournament too. You got to think that you got to let it all lay out. No reason to hold back.
Chris safe, fine tuning it, full flight.
One of those ones, man. Yeah, take that wherever it ends.
Pretty happy with the result.
If I could drop a disc, I would definitely drop it there. That was a great shot. Rick going with a distance driver as well. That's a good bounce. That's a good reaction. He's still in the center of the fairway. Still has an opportunity to make his par.
Yeah, it starts getting difficult if you hit early right. You're really scrambling the whole way to the basket. Chris will be joining Rick for the scrambling further up the fairway.
Here we go, another FX2.
I think he went with a D3 there. Probably
Wake up.
missed his line.
It's real easy to do in a tournament. Hold on to it just for that fraction second too long. Grip lock it.
Rick
Try to
gets
get
it
the
up.
extra power on it.
That is a beautiful shot. Just managed to get that disc to stand up right when that gap. Jamie hoping to get left. There's the fairway of the red tee, Seamus, just over in the left, sort of gives you an extra channel.
There's a few gaps through there. It's not closed off at all. But the green is fast. When you're playing up on the high up on the mound, where Jamie is, the green gets when you're attacking it from that direction, the green gets really fast, and the disc will work away from the basket if it hyzers out.
Chris has got that hyzer line. Looks like he's hit it. They're the type of putts you want. Chris has just maybe missed his angle ever so slightly. Finishes higher up the bank. I think this will be the day for Rick, just probably playing fairly straightforward, nothing too aggressive, avoiding OBs.
Nice putter shot there.
Pretty happy to have executed. That's the pressure of final day Sunday.
Nice run at it from Chris. Oh, not a good result. Daylod.
This hole can get you.
A little bit short.
Would have been a great putt from a great scramble. Chrissy hoping to get it away unscathed, but not to be.
I think all these guys are thinking right now, let's just close this out. Move on to hole 4. Nice par from Chris O'Brien.
No birdies on final day. This is where you would be expecting the guys to start attacking, but that's why it's scoring one of the hardest of the weekend. The guys will hopefully see it another day.
Hole 4 is a downhill finesse shot. There's 2 possible gaps. You got the one on the left-hand side. For a lefty player, it's just straight hyzer. For a righty player, you can use the center gap, but you have to basically throw it through a keyhole, maybe take a nice understable disc, and you have to remember this is downhill. You don't want it to go too fast because you might find the OB behind the basket. Most of these players will be going for the 2 and unhappy with a 3, I would imagine.
Yeah, we've seen a number of different shots. We've seen Rick line up the forehand option, Chris likes the backhand option. Hopefully with no wind today they can hit the line. This looks good.
Catch one of those big Scots pines. The danger on this hole basically is just you have to remember you're throwing down a hill. If you throw the disc flat, you're just going to hyzer away from the basket.
Chris getting the flick, but the disc is high like you say, and you hyzer off early, but getting him probably edge of circle 2. Chrissy going with the backhand turnover.
Looks like a harp.
Broken in harp. Hits his gap. Pretty good result.
Great skinny gap right down the middle with a harp.
Jamie hoping him to join him on the green.
Maybe throwing an M2 here.
Gets an early hit. They're not the hits you want.
He'll be scrambling a little bit, but there's gaps over there. He'll probably throw a forehand all the way around. Go over those fallen trees. Nice A3, it'll find the ground quick.
Looks pretty aggressive. I like it.
Yeah, I got a little too much ground play on it.
So Rick likes to send a floaty number in, but just trying to settle in with the wind.
I thought he was waiting for those players to clear behind him. He was trying to decide what to do.
Yeah, I think he opted for probably the smarter option.
He is leading the tournament. It's not a bad shout.
Chris hoping to make a move.
What's Chris Smith putting with these days?
Unfortunately not.
Right side.
Not a stable putter. He's been putting with Wizards. I think this black wizard he's got has been in his bag for a number of years now. We've probably seen it in previous coverage. But his putt is just margins in it. Hopefully warms up into the round. Jimmy will be disappointed with his opening holes. Hopefully he can bounce back.
I'm sure he has some good golf in him. Laying up pays off for Rick.
Yeah, his scorecard's clean, no red. And he's now building himself a cushion. 2-shot lead in Chris O'Brien.
Hole 5, one of the original holes on the course. Nice wide open off the tee. You want to stay left, throw it out here in the green grass. Most of the things to the right over this burn are going to be OB. The top of the burn is lined OB. Smart player will pop his second shot up here next to the bridge. Take your third shot across the burn to the basket. If you want to play really aggressive, you try to throw it across the burn in your second shot and pick up a 3.
Rick lining the aggressive line here. This hopefully coming back. Pretty good result. Doesn't look like that we had the wind. We did like on day 2. There was a headwind ripping here, Seamus.
Yeah, Rick was a little aggressive with that. I think he straight up got lucky.
Chris bringing the angle more into play.
Nice shot from Chris O'Brien.
Similar result.
That was the line. I thought it hyzed it out a little bit early for him, but that was the line right there. This is Jamie's Falcor.
Looks like they all took a fairly aggressive line, but you know, maybe too stable discs, or maybe not getting over on it.
The way that Burn pulls the disc in, I don't blame him.
But you can see here they've got, you know, a fairly straightforward upshot. Chris going with the Berg hyzer line, getting a dirty hit. He'd be disappointed, probably not even factoring that in. Jimmy just corrected that height.
Nice control shot. Easy 3. Chris O'Brien will be taking a run at this.
Just floating it in, nice and close. The tapping will bring him back back to par. Rick with the formality. Doesn't seem to make many mistakes when he's just getting up and down from 50 metres.
He's playing well. He's playing really calmly. He's consistent, and he's doing what he needs to do to win.
Yeah, I think he's enticing the other players to come after it. Not making too many mistakes. Executing the putts when he needs to. Nice to see the sunshine out for final day coverage, Seamus. The best hole in the UK just looks a wee bit better when the sun's out. That bogey bringing Chris over for the day. He'll be disappointed not to stay on the par.
Yeah, he doesn't pick up any strokes there. But still a well played hole from everyone. Hole 6, par 3. You want to spike one up over these logs, cross the road. Have a turn right about this telegraph pole on the right hand side for righty backhand players. You want to pierce the gap through these trees and have your disc land toward the basket.
Should be a straightforward hyzer shot for some of these guys.
Well, let's see if they can start picking up strokes on Rick here. It's a great hole to do it.
Right, going with a stable disc. Bit on the tighter line. It's an early hit, but fairly straightforward line to the basket from there.
Yeah, he should be able to go up and down for his 3 the way he's playing today. There's a little skinny gap on the left-hand side. Runs right toward the basket. I'm surprised none of them took it. We'll have to make those skinny gaps a little bit bigger in the future. See if we can tempt a few of them. You can really hear those winds picking up.
Chris going a bit tighter down the path. Looks like his height's good, but unfortunate hit.
If it stayed clean, that's what you're looking for.
Great bid from Jimmy.
Nice run.
Especially with the wind conditions, you can see with the lead movement. Chrissy trying to turn it over. He's developing that putt. It's coming in useful in the woods. Right, going for the upside down. Not wanting to make any mistakes here. Par works every day for Rick here.
That's funny, on the last hole it was nice and calm, and on this hole the wind's blowing pretty good. And the disc golf course is set fairly close to the mouth of the North Sea, where the Firth of Forth hits the North Sea. So those winds can whip up from anywhere. Storms come rolling through all the time. A little short there from Chris O'Brien. Probably wants that one back.
Yeah, it's been the weather has been truly Scottish Open. We've got raincoats, gale force wind, beautiful sunshine. Rare to have t-shirt weather at a Scottish Open.
This is Latitude 64. We handle the smallest of grains with the greatest of passion. Always trying to improve, trying to be better, out of curiosity, excitement, out of thrill, for the player, for the game. Because we want to make disc golf awesome for you.
Hole 7, par 4. You want to pump one out into the field, right toward that big, beautiful beech tree in the background. Have it for a right-handed player. You want to have it hyzer in. You got a choice between two gaps. You got a short gap. If you want to get aggressive, you got a long gap. Both lead to an upshot that leads to a fast green. These players are looking to get this in 3 shots, but there's nothing wrong with the 4.
Rick leading us off. He'll be wanting to get fairly aggressive here, give himself the option to attack the basket. Seems pretty happy.
You got a nice hop skip in there. You should have a good look at the basket. That telegraph pole sits at exactly 100 meters, to give you an idea of the length of this hole.
Chris manages to thread it through that first gap and should have given himself a fairly straightforward up and down.
I mean, these guys are figuring it out a little bit here. Jamie throwing that Falcor again.
I think these guys are just getting a bit of protection from the wind, allowing them to gain a bit more distance off the tee.
That wind's got to be going from right to left, and they're probably just showing the disc, that side of the disc, and the wind's just taking right in there.
Yeah, and Chrissy pushing the far gap, so from there he's got a fairly straightforward up and down. This is the inside gap that Chris is would for a textbook up and down with a nice stick. Probably a bit more play than he would like.
Got that same bad roll he did in the last round. The idea is when the frisbee lands, when the disc lands, you want to shape it just like the ground that it's landing on, or else it'll skip, grab an edge and roll.
Jimmy getting good control. Chris is probably trying to get this just to sit flat. Manages to execute it.
Well, at least he's throwing the disc the right side up. He's pitching. Oh no, I stand corrected. He's done it again.
But he's playing smart golf.
Aye.
Not taking risks when he doesn't need to. Chris needs to make this putt. Just overcommit.
Jamie with an easy tap out.
Yeah, it's these holes where the guys need to be picking up the strokes. Chris managed to get one on Rick. Because coming into the next few holes, the birdie options are available.
Yeah, Rick's a well-seasoned player. He's got a lot of tournaments under his belt. He knows what he needs to do to win. Right now he's throwing pars. Oh, we got a birdie there. I stand corrected. But solid play.
Yeah, he's not making too many unforced errors.
Hole 8, par 3, 99 meters, 325 feet. Straight up the gap. The only thing you have to worry about here is a heavy crosswind. but if you can throw it 300 feet, you should be able to get the birdie here. Especially if you're on the lead card at the Scottish Open. Let's see if these guys can deliver.
Rick going a bit wider than he did on day 2, hoping the disc will come back.
Doesn't look like it did. There's really no danger out there on the right hand side. It's just a longer approach shot. This hole rewards a player who can throw it 90, 99 meters well.
Jimmy probably coming off a bit higher than he would like, just a wee bit pin high but left. This is probably the classic mistake. Chrissy hoping to learn from the guys, managed to get this to stand up. Must be the wind at play when it's out in the fairway. Definitely different results from day 2, Seamus. We had a couple of park jobs.
Aye. Here's Freddie the cat. Freddie lives in the stables. Generally likes to cause trouble and lay on tee pads, and great cat.
Rick opted for a controlled forehand upshot. It's a great shot to develop, especially at the Bluebell Woods when you need to scramble.
Looks like they were thrown into quite a headwind off the tee. That wind was coming from right to left, so it would have knocked that disc down. So Chris will have to throw this nice and high, unless he lays it.
Yeah, he got pushed down fairly quick. Really not the result he was hoping for. Confident putt.
Solid putt on an elevated basket.
Yeah, if you're not really in the circle here, you sort of just need to take your medicine and clean up for the par. Chris unfortunately not executing on the putt. Still no errors on Rick's card, and he's sort of he's executing when he needs to.
Yeah, he's playing smart. Rounding off the front 9 is a par 4, 500-foot smash through this pine gap. Down, you want to go right of this birch grove here. Have the disc start turning, and head straight toward that big bushy tree in the background. If you can land your disc in this area, you'll set up for a great approach shot. You walk away with your 3. This is definitely a birdieable par 4.
Yeah, it's a tricky green, but if you can position yourself for the second, the guys can gain some strokes.
It's all this hole, and a lot of the holes on this course are all about biting off what you can chew. If you try to bite off more than what you can chew, then you're definitely going to be scrambling. But Rick right now, I think he's just in cruise control. He caught a high branch there, but he'll be okay.
Yeah, it's not too much damage from there. He was hoping probably a bit more turn on that one. It's either really you need to trust the disc to flip, or you need to control the angle off the tee here.
Jamie's sticking with that foul core.
Probably turning more than he would like, but great result. Should have maybe
He's set up
forward
there.
gap.
Yeah, he should be okay there.
I'm guessing this is Chrissy's leopard by the flip. Pretty great result, that is.
Your keys, sir. Your disc is parked.
That is beautiful off the tee from Chris.
Brilliant shot from Chris Smith. Most of the success on this hole has been with understable shots. If Chris Smith did throw his leopard there, I've seen leopards go just as far as the Ed Sheeran tree. You just have to remember to keep that nose angle, throw it down the hill. Make sure you get enough turn on it.
A couple of guys committed to getting the disc back. That'll be a big burn when it happens. Just Chris got a bit long on the hyzer.
He was cut off on the angle there. I think that's pretty much all he had. Rick from the Winterberry bush. This should be interesting.
Gets around the corner.
Plenty close for a par.
Jimmy punching through.
Inside the circle, should get us 3 there, no problem.
He likes to attack them from there, Rick. He's always he's got that putting style where he can flash the chains and never go too far past.
For the eagle. Yeah, no reason not to on this hole. You know, the basket's positioned well enough where it's nice and flat around the basket. No real chance for a roll away. Every opportunity to be aggressive.
Chris just going a bit high and left.
You know, Rick excluded. If these guys want to catch him, they really need to pick it up. Rick's just going to throw it into cruise control and finish out the tournament. Somebody needs to light this up on the back 9.
Jamie's starting to warm up into it with 3 birdies in the last 5 holes.
Nice drop-in birdie from Chris.
Gets him under par for his final round.
Rick able to scramble, picks up his par.
Picks up his par and he's got a cushion coming into the back 9. Just goes to show if you can keep under that line, not make too many mistakes, it's really Rick's tournament to lose.
Yeah, no real big movers. I mean, Chris Smith's putting together a much better round than he did yesterday. Hopefully he can play the back 9 well.
Yeah, he's one shot off Chris. Probably we'll see a battle for second if Rick doesn't make any mistakes. Charlie O'Brien making a move. He's coming in with 2 under, putting himself in tied 3rd with Chris. Noah and the rest of the card probably finishing up early, and unfortunately Paddy McCauley had to go home and be a parent.
That's too bad. You were really making moves.
I was disappointed not to get out and play in the sunshine at Bluebell Woods, but looks like we've got a lot to play for in the back 9, Seamus.
Yeah, like I said, you know, hopefully somebody can light it up.
As always, massive shout out to the guys behind Powerplay Productions, Nick Gordon leading a team, and thanks a lot for coming to join us for front 9 coverage of the Scottish Open final day.